Giving some dags.
You like dags?
You like dags? Dags? What?
Oh,
my favorite
dogs.
is that Brad Pitt doesn't understand
dogs.
what he says back to him.
I like dags.
That's my favorite part. He's like, dags. He's like, what? He's like, oh, dags. Yeah, dogs. Yeah, I like dogs.
Dude, I love it when when that one dog, when they're like doing the hare chasing, and the dog jumps on him, he's like effer. He's like under his breath, he's like effer. It looked improvised.
But it's also hilarious because, again, all these dogs, he's like, oh, I love you love dogs. I don't know why. I just think it's particularly funny when it nearly bites him.
Yeah, he's like, effer.
Effer. We're all married men here. Let's be real. How many of our wives are happy that we're here? Maybe one of us.
Jordan's wife, probably the only one.
Maybe Jordan's wife. Cameron, why not? Isn't Kelsey support you in your thing, Cameron?
Yeah, I guess.
Dude, we gotta talk about that, dude. That's hilarious. Hilarious.
Definitely not the movies we talk about, but maybe my endeavors.
Oh, I know. I showed Maddie this one early on. I was like, isn't Brad Pitt so handsome? It's like, yeah, but you can't understand a fetching word he's saying. Holy crap. Look at that. Just remember the temple's in the background, guys, all right? So as we record this Guy Ritchie film. Here we go. Hello and welcome to the Futro Hidden Movie Gems podcast. I'm your host, Ty Spiker Christensen. Do you like dags?
Oh.
Dags? It's my dog. Yeah, dags. Dags. What? Oh, yes. Dogs. Yes, I like dags.
I like dags.
We've got Jordan Christensen on the podcast.
I just like that you pointed out that he laughed. I mean, he didn't understand him when he repeated back to him in that accent.
He said back dags. He's like, what? That's so good. Brad Pitt is too good.
He's amazing.
All right. And we've got Cameron Mickle on the pod.
I tell you what, I do for the caravan. And also, I love he's a natural. Ain't you, Tyrone?
But I want a caravan, but I had no wheels.
Of course I am.
A
natural freaking idiot. Easy on the brakes, Tyrone. He's like,
it's
what is he supposed to get away from?
It was at an angle.
And you're going backwards. Hey, everything coming
directly behind you. Oh my gosh, so good. He's a getaway driver. What can he get away from? Oh gosh. And today we've got Justin Watsaba back on the podcast.
You just make sure you watch the dog. I don't want it dribbling on my seats. Your seats? Tyrone, this is a stolen vehicle.
But while I'm behind the wheel, it's my vehicle.
What is that? It's a shotgun. What does it look like? He's like, it's a fetching anti-aircraft carrier. Or cannon.
And he's like, it's supposed to raise pulses. He's like, I can do much more than raise pulses. It's going to raise...
Forget pulses. That's good. Oh, fellas, today we are discussing Snatch. So if you don't understand 50% of what we say here today, it's because we are quoting a very hard to understand movie. This movie came out in 2000. Directed by Guy Ritchie. You might know him from King Arthur, Aladdin, his best two films. Just kidding. I'm saying because I know Jordan has a soft spot for Wrath of Man, even though I think it's slow.
No, his best movie is Gentleman.
Like movies like Gentleman, Snatch, and...
I love all his movies.
What's the other one?
I mean, well, I haven't seen Aladdin, but I'm just saying.
I love all of his films except Aladdin.
Well, that's not his movie. That's a Disney movie. That's like one for the studio, and then he does all his other favorite ones.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what... Lock, Stock, and Two Barrels. I haven't seen Lock, Stock. I do need to see it. Man from U.N.C.L.E. Thank you. That is the movie that I love. Jordan doesn't like it because he's a moron.
No.
Well, he hasn't finished it. Jordan, you need to finish it.
That
Armie
one is
Hammer, Henry Cavill. It's really good.
You know...
Is it Ana de Armas? Is she the girl?
No.
The reason is, Ty, it's because I saw that interview with him.
Some other Italian chick.
Bashing Star Wars. That's why.
What's that? What was that?
I said the only reason I walked out of the theater and didn't finish Man from U.N.C.L.E. is because I just got done watching the interview with the Superman.
Henry Cavill saying he would turn down... So you admit that it has nothing to do with the fact that Guy Ritchie's at the helm.
I love Guy Ritchie.
It's a good... Yeah, so you need to see the movie. You need to get over your hatred for Henry Cavill. Because to Henry Cavill's defense, he was right. Star Wars is a dumpster fire. Has anyone tuned into what's going on in Star Wars?
Yeah, but Ty, he said in an
universe?
interview... I'd
have to
read the script first. And I'm like, have you read the script for Superman? Give me a freaking break.
Hey, Christopher Nolan was loosely tied to that.
Well, no,
so was Zack Snyder.
Yeah, but I'm
totally on board.
talking like Batman v Superman. I'm sure when he read that ending,
or even Justice League. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of lost all respect, you know. Hey, he's an actor. He's gotta prove himself. He seems like an actor that's gonna go places, unlike everyone else that's played Superman. So anyway, I'm particularly referring to what's the guy in Superman Returns? What was that actor's name? He was good in Scott Pilgrim. That's all I remember him from. After that, he pretty much dropped off the face of the earth.
anyways, back to this film.
Back to the film. Snatch. Break. What do we say about this? So it stars
Cameron, top
Brad
5
Pitt,
performances.
Jason
Brad Pitt.
Statham,
No.
Stephen Graham.
I don't know. It's
Yes.
tough.
Oh, for me, yes. This is one of my top 3 favorite of Brad
3?
Pitt's. Like,
Whoa.
yes,
5.
I like 5. Well, what else is there?
Yeah, Burn
To me,
Notice.
it's
Inglorious.
Burn After Reading.
Oh, sorry, Burn After Reading.
Yeah.
Moneyball.
Yeah. And Glorious. No, see, yeah, Moneyball's good too.
You're
That is a
saying
good
no
one.
for Inglorious?
No, he said
Well,
yes.
that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because if I have the 3, what is it?
That's why I said top 5.
I really liked him in No Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So he was like my best part of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
He was.
He was great. So yeah, that's hard to say. Now that I think about it, I'm like,
True
I'm
Romance?
thinking,
Come on, Ty.
True Romance.
He was the stoner.
That's Gary Oldman. What are you talking about?
No, that you're talking about the guy with the dreads.
he was yes.
He
He was the
stoner.
roommate. Yeah, the roommate stoner.
Don't
not the glass-eyed
condescend me.
Dude, I thought you were mistaking Gary Oldman as the Rasta one-eyed glass eye stoner.
There's no mistaking him. Holy cow.
There's 2 stoners in that movie. Make no mistake. So.
Nah, I'd say he's more of a pimp. Gary
But
Oldman
he
is
dabbles.
not a stoner. He just
Anyway.
He's not a one-trick pony.
You're just
He's-
assuming all
Anyway.
Jamaicans are stoners, Ty.
Anyway.
So yeah, Cameron, you think? You know what? He was good in Glorious. I think about it.
Good is the biggest
He
understatement
needs
of the
to be in another
century.
Tarantino. I mean,
This is the best
he was in
top
Once
3
Upon a Time,
characters
but-
of all
yeah.
time. Freaking Lieutenant
And Cameron,
Aldo
when you weren't here
Rainmaker.
last time, Ty mentioned Inglourious in the last episode.
Way to keep the tradition.
Keeping up with the
You weren't here-
tradition.
Yeah, exactly. Every episode there's a mention. So yeah. Anyway, I think this is a great performance. In fact, after I saw this, I was like, oh no, like I wanted Wrath of Man to be more like this. I wanted movies.
No,
Yes,
no,
I
no,
wanted
no.
movies like this. Like
Like all his other
if the
movies,
Boondock
Ty.
Saints,
all
the
his
Boondock
other
Saints has
movies are
nothing.
like this. All his other movies.
The Boondock Saints has nothing on this. Is another thing I wanted to bring up. Like I
Oh,
like this
brother.
movie
I've
much
been
more than the
I've
Boondock
been
Saints.
told that his Revolver movie has like 0 humor in it. Like it's like a little bit slower movie, kind of like Wrath of Man. So.
Oh, okay.
Really?
So yeah.
Sorry, which film are you referring
Revolver.
Well, it
Oh,
was just
Revolver.
that Jordan was saying all of Guy Ritchie's movies are like
All right,
that.
I overgeneralized.
And I was like, well, I
There you
do
go.
know that there is one movie called Revolver in his earlier days that apparently is slow and doesn't have any humor in it. So apparently it's just straight action drama.
Yeah, I don't think I laughed at all in Wrath of Man either, Jordan. And then, except for that part when he's just fucking staring after he got
about?
shot.
He's on the ground,
Yeah, he's just like-
staring at Clint Eastwood's son, boring a hole through his head.
Scary
With
look.
sheer will and revenge, yes. So, guys, in Snatch, do you want to give a plot synopsis or summary? Actually, wait, I had
It's
one.
your first time on the pod, Ty?
Well, it's funny because I had it up and I just lost it, which is why I'm pulling it up again.
Unscrupulous
It's embarrassing.
boxing promoters, violent bookmakers, a Russian gangster, incompetent amateur robbers, and supposedly Jewish jewelers fight to track down a priceless stolen diamond.
Supposedly.
He wasn't Jewish, that's right. He wasn't.
Thinks
even
it's
a
good for
Jew.
business.
He thinks it's good for business.
And in the jewelry industry, it is.
Oh, it's good stuff.
No,
Folks, guys.
my English teacher,
movie.
he would make commercials with Scottish people because apparently they're good with money. And he wasn't Scottish, but he would have them like narrate because people just associated them with being good with money. It's just interesting that, yeah, he uses that as a front to make people believe he's like legit.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I gotta say, let's get into 2 of our favorite things. Cameron, why don't you start us off?
And just real quick, Snatch was released in 2000, directed by Guy
I already
Ritchie.
did that. I already did that. I did do that.
I don't remember.
I'm not completely hopeless.
Speaking
I
of
just lost the
Scottish,
plot
did you
summary.
recognize that one guy he put his throat caught up in the door? That was the guy from Train Spotting. Yeah, that was fun. He made a little cameo.
I knew that would be the connection you would make. Yeah, Ewan Bremer. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I could make the connection that he was also in that Christian Bale movie, the Ten Commandments one. What was that movie?
Exodus.
Did you also catch Benicio del Toro Did you catch Benicio del Toro in this
Of
one? Jordan?
course.
Frankie
How could you
Four
not?
Fingers.
Break it, boy.
So
Why do they call him the bullet dodger?
I love
'Cause he
every time they
dodges
said
bullet savvy.
every time they mention he has a gambling problem. The Vida Las Vegas.
yeah, it would just show like all his history. That was really funny.
That's
So
great.
for me, watching it for the first time, this was actually a recommendation from Justin. Because he knows I love Brad Pitt and was just like, yes, Ty, you probably mentioned it as well.
Recommended this
okay."
too. Yes, yes.
Gosh.
But see, he doesn't listen to my recommendation. He only hears
because
it
half
from
of yours
Justin.
are
He's like,
rubbish.
Oh, I should really check this out.
And
half
then-
of mine are rubbish.
And
How
so,
dare you?
Justin was like, "Hey, if you love Brad Pitt, you got to check him out. Or check this one out. He has an amazing performance." And I do love Brad Pitt and his performances. And so I went into this with pretty.
Cameron,
low-
I'll tell you what. If you love Brad Pitt's performance, you should go watch the movie 12 Monkeys. That's quite a Brad Pitt
I know.
performance.
I,
In fact,
I
funny
have
story.
I have
did
War
think
Machine
that this
and
movie,
that on my bucket list just for him.
Yes. I thought when I started 12 Monkeys, I was watching Snatch. So I was like excited for this fast pace, turned into this like insane asylum, camera tilts on Dutch. Oh my gosh, I felt so sick after watching.
Yeah, I
12
did feel
Monkeys.
pretty nauseous.
And again, I thought I was watching Snatch. So to 12 Monkeys' credit, maybe it's not as bad as I remember, but holy crap. Thinking you're going to watch Snatch from Guy Ritchie at Coupon Creek. Brad Pitt showed up, and I remember thinking, like, he's very different than what I thought he was good. Anyway, but that's a performance for the ages, for sure.
Yeah, so I kind of went in with not a lot of expectations. I mean, I knew Justin said it was really good, but I wanted to try to keep my expectations low. And I was just really impressed. At first, I was like really lost, especially with the whole Jewish thing. I like when they were robbing the bank or robbing the jewelry. So I'm like, I really don't understand what's going on. And then half the time, the people are speaking in gibberish, and I'm just like, if I change man, and I'm just like, what is he going? And I love it how Jason Statham and
Turn
other
on the
characters are like,
subtitles. They go out half the time when Brad Pitt speaks. Like,
Really?
intentionally. They do not know what he's saying. Yeah.
That's so funny.
He's not saying anything.
Yeah, and I also was
Gibberish.
reading up on this a little bit, and it's kind of interesting how it talks about how Guy Ritchie. There's a lot of critics that were complaining about his previous movie before this, that there was characters that had accents that were hard to understand, and so to spite everyone, he did a character who he said like many times
Further
that the
understand.
not only could like the audience not understand, but characters on screen and actors like in the set couldn't understand what he was saying.
Love that,
So,
dude.
So
England?
that,
England?
so
Yeah, cup of tea, bad weather, worse food. Mary Fetchin' Poppins, England.
Dude, he is hilarious. I love
Yeah,
him.
I
he's
loved
really
his
good.
character. Yes,
so
I
good.
loved his character. He's great.
and then and I was just really impressed. It wrapped up at the end and just made it. I was like, wow, it wrapped up so neatly and just kind of in a bow that I was like, this is such a perfect ending to this movie. Which it was kind of the same ending as The Gentleman. I felt like The Gentleman wrapped up so neatly. Because at first, same thing, Gentleman. I'm kind of like, there's so many moving pieces. I don't understand who is who. Why there's just some Russian mob dude who's like the butcher or whatever. I'm like, what does he have to do with the plot? And I just love how everyone ties in. And then rewatching for the pod, I just watched it today with Drew, and yeah, I loved it again. It was really fun to kind of watch it from understanding everything that's going on. You just kind of see everyone's connection, and then I didn't piece together some pieces. Like I totally didn't understand that the only reason that he had to throw the fight was because they switched the fighter. That before he just wanted a regular fighter, but now that he switched up the fight and the guy lost all of his bets, he was like, oh, now you owe me. He has to go down in the fourth, and just fun things like that. That was like, oh, that makes so much more sense. Like understanding all that. But yeah, second viewing just as good.
Good. All right, Jason, what's about? What about your
Justin.
Jason,
Justin,
Nah,
what's
it's good.
about?
thinking of Jason Statham.
What, you don't like Jason?
Jason
That seems like
Statham,
a
baby.
line for you don't like
Last
Jason?
Christmas, my father-in-law called me Jason on accident. Like, preface, I've only been married about a year, but so at the time I'd only been married a couple months. But then like he ended up just calling me Jason all week long out of spite. And I was like, I hope that
Gosh,
this
that's
goes
annoying.
away because it seems like it may not ever go away. But no, it's all good. I watched Snatch for the first time on probably 3 or 4 months ago, and have y'all realized that Netflix has like recently stepped up their game on the amount of good movies they finally have added?
Yeah, they were in a slump of just absolute rubbish, and then kind of like after everyone came back after Stranger Things, they kind of actually were like, oh, we probably should try to keep people here.
Well, like Netflix has always dominated TV shows, but their movie options have always been kind of piss poor, and then just like within the last couple of months they've added some absolute classics, and this has been on my watch list for a very, very, very long time. I saw that it got added on Netflix, so I watched it for the first time a few months ago, and one of the very few movies that I immediately knew would have a ton of rewatchability. So it definitely like resonated very well with me the first time, and then rewatching it definitely picked up on a lot of more British humor and a lot more of just like the way that Guy Ritchie kind of just like vocab problem. Just the way that he has like, there's like proper English and then just like super broken English, both culture and vocabulary. And he just like, the second time I noticed, like he kind of just like mixes all of that, and he just doesn't care that like the audience would be bugged. Kind of what Cameron was saying, how like the audience was bugged with Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, that the accents were kind of hard to like understand. Like the way he uses like the culture of it too, he just really like does not care what the audience will think. You could tell like he really enjoyed doing this film, so definitely enjoyed watching it a second time as well.
I got mad respect. You know, to me, it's like, don't make it more generally appealing to audiences. Keep it a niche thing, because like it's a treasure, you know. Because then you get movies that are just blah.
Well, because that's
like, honestly, like, yeah.
Just to keep the tradition going of the Inglourious. That's what I think is so impressive with that film. There's never ever a time that English is spoken when English isn't like to be understood by everyone. And any time like they speak in French or in German when they're actually speaking in French or German. Like, and just things like that, kind of like you're talking about, keeping it niche, I think is really impressive.
Yeah. And like, it's trust people more, but yes, I know you'll lose a lot of general appeal, but this is where like the art overcomes like your desire and need to make money. And I understand you need to make money, but you know, I mean, I think at this point in time, he's probably making rounds with long stock barrel. I can't remember what it's called.
Two Smoking Barrels.
Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Yeah, like, so you get complaints, but you're like, I mean, as far as UK is concerned, I can't understand what half of those people are saying. No wonder we seceded from them.
I love the dude. He's like, you think that? He's like, you guys birthed the English language, and you think you'd speak it? Gosh dang it!
So,
it's like what they're speaking in this movie ain't English. I'll tell you that much.
Different kind of English.
Crazy. Different, not my English. I love it. I freaking love it. Like, to me, it upsets me more. Like when, I don't know. To me, it's like, oh, you didn't catch it the first time around. Go watch it again then. I don't know. It's not like or slow it down and talk unrealistically slow, or make sure that everyone understands, or repeat things over and over. It's like, no, you know what? You missed it. It's an experience. Maybe you'll go back and rewatch it and you'll catch something you didn't catch the first time, you know? That was my experience watching this movie, because I was like, oh, I actually watched it with subtitles this time because I wanted to catch more of the dialogue that I was missing. And boy, was I not disappointed. It's hilarious. Like, this movie is a comedy, and then it's like a heist action movie. But I mean, it's a comedy first. I was laughing out loud many times in this. So that's one thing that works for me, is the comedy. This movie is so funny. And second thing is, I love this style. I love quick cuts. I love even the narration. I love seeing Jason Statham playing a straight man. So there's so many things about it that I really like. So many, many things to gush about. But how about you, Jordan? What are your two favorite things from this film?
Well, first time watching it, and the first time I ever saw it, I actually didn't like it. And the only reason is because I was expecting it to be more straight-laced, and it was very quirky. Like, as soon as the mobster that feeds people to pigs, like, he's like, now I think it's hilarious when he's like, he first has that first guy.
They could consume, like, was it 2 pounds of flesh?
Well, when he first kills, he first has his first guy killed and then his second guy killed. Like, I think that's hilarious now. But the first time I saw it, I'm like, so this is a comedy? Like, it just seems so quirky and weird. But
you're like, that's so dark.
No, it's just, I just wasn't a fan of because you're more of a fan of Edgar Wright. You and Cameron like love his stuff.
This is more akin to Edgar Wright.
And I like
Edgar Wright and Tarantino.
That's what this is. I like it. I love it now. It'll just never make my top 100. No, I prefer slower paced films. Like, you're talking Denis Villeneuve and stuff. So not.
Well, I like those movies too.
I know.
It's not like I have like a
I'm not
debilitating.
saying I don't love this movie.
ADHD.
I love this movie. I'm just saying it's not my kind of movie. I like Wrath of Man where there's long takes and it's slower.
Oh my gosh, Jordan's like, oh, let me put you guys in your place. I like the boring films. Whatever, you turn off everything that you don't understand. Maybe you just didn't understand enough of this.
Anyways,
movie.
I told you I didn't like it the first time, and I love it now. So
That's cool, man. I'm glad you changed your mind to the correct point of view.
And then Jordan, what was your 2 faves?
Okay, I'm going right into it. So, I mean, the cast is unbelievable. Like, there's so many good people in this movie.
It's got all the British actors that you can think of, you know?
Yeah, I mean...
And not so British ones.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody's playing at 110%, and I loved every scene of this movie. So, and the humor is really good. So, what I didn't like before, now I love. So, there you go.
Awesome. So we went into what was like watching it the first time. Jordan did his favorite 2. Justin, you already did your 2 favorite, though? Because we kind of combined them.
No, me and Justin still have it.
Justin, why don't you hit us up with your 2 favorite things from this film?
I love Guy Ritchie's character introductions. Like, obviously, he doesn't do, like, a ton of character development, and you really can't with, like, quick cuts and stuff like that. But the way he always introduces his characters in every movie are so freaking hilarious. Like, Benicio del Toro's character is, like, this whole, like, Jewish monologue of robbing these people. And
and explaining how Adam and Eve is just, like, there's no way that could be real.
And then, yeah. And then, like, Turkish... His Jason Statham's character, like, his introduction, you don't really get much context. You kind of just get thrown into his part of the plot, like, very quickly. So I really like his style of his character introductions are, like, super quick and super fast, but he always, like, introduces the character with names so that, like, I mean, like, for his movies that have 30 different plots in one movie that are all intertwined, kind of like the show Seinfeld, it's like you kind of have to pay close attention to know everything that's going on in a fast-paced movie like that. And so, like, the way he introduces his characters makes it easier to follow. So that's definitely, like, my favorite thing with this film. And then I just love the way that he can make an action and heist movie that funny. So I guess, like, just Guy Ritchie's style are my 2 favorite things about the movie. The character introductions and just the way that the humor does not feel forced in his action movies. And watch any, like, Marvel movie nowadays, and the humor feels so incredibly forced into an action movie. So that's definitely mine.
Yeah.
Ain't that the truth?
It feels like a very small world. Like, the fact that all 3 of them... like him throwing the drink out the window and landing, and they just happen to be behind him, and then the other 2 guys that were chasing him happened to hit the guy that got out of the trunk. It's just like it's so funny how everything is so close together. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, it's a small world.
Well, it's fun to see them interact because, again, you're like, oh, like, what, these 2 guys are having such a different day, or these groups of guys, and then, like, they enter. It's amazing.
Yeah, and it all
so
collides
refreshing.
at the end. Yeah,
exactly. Cameron, how about you, man? 2 of your favorite things?
Yeah, kind of similar to what's already been mentioned. My favorite thing is just what I kind of mentioned at my first viewing, what was just kind of blew me away, is I think just he does such a great job of Guy Ritchie just does such a great job of tying stories together and finishing them off. Because I feel like that's something that is very hard, especially with so many plots going on, to kind of finish off, especially a movie, because it's like there's like they've all got to end eventually. And then at the same time still give people satisfying, like, deaths or endings. And I just think it's so impressive how he, like, brings all these random plot lines that you're just like, what the fudge does this have to do with anything? Like, what does this dog have to do with anything? And then, like, in the end, it has the jewel. And, like, there's just so many things that I was just so impressed with that he tied everything, like, in a nice little bow at the end that I was just super impressed with. And then similar to what's already been mentioned with the casting, and also kind of Justin mentioned with the character introductions, I just think it's so fun in movies. I think great movies create characters where you can argue who's your favorite character. Because in some movies, like, obviously there is standout performances, but I think some of the most impressive movies are when there's, like, 9 or 10 people who you could all, like, argue, like, oh no, I really like this guy. Like, oh, I don't know, like, I really like Four Fingers. But then you're like, but I loved, like, Mickey. And then other people be like, oh, I love Tommy or Tyrone. Like, there's so many different characters that are so fun in this movie, and they all each have their unique personality. And kind of similar to what Justin mentioned, especially in a movie, it's so hard to kind of just throw you into who this person is and give a background. But they do such a good job of their interactions that just kind of let you know the type of person they are, and just kind of like their background, what they do. And because, like, Tyrone is just, like, such a perfect introduction. Like, you could just, like, learn so much about him and, like, the little scenes that he has.
For sure. I think it's funny seeing other films now. There's so many similarities. Like, I remember watching Sherlock Holmes before I'd seen Snatch, because I watched Sherlock Holmes and I was like, I love this guy's films. So I wanted to watch other things that he had done, and that's when I watched Snatch for the first time. I was in college, and I was like, I love it. Like, because again, I love the slow action, this tension building, but there's also something really fun. Like, this is like Pulp Fiction, Tarantino meets, I don't know, because like even Guy Ritchie's films now seem like they're slowing down. Method Man, Aladdin is even slower. I mean, it's still colorful, and it's Disney, so I don't know how much of that is him and how much is like the studio and executive producers. But like, watching this film, it seems very personal. It seems like right at home. I love it. I think that giving all these actors the room to move, it seems, because there's so many things that he does in other films.
Well, the majority of his films are gangster films, so I'd say it's definitely right at home.
Yes, and I like it. I'm like, if you're good at the thing, like, you don't necessarily, like, that's why when I watch Gentleman, that's the other movie.
He seems to enjoy it too.
Yes. See, that's the other thing too. Like, it's almost like, was it Scorsese? Somebody was like, they didn't enjoy doing these things, but they have to do it, and one for you, one for me. And it's like, there's just no love, there's no passion. It's like, I'm just waiting to get to the movie that I want to make. And this is a movie that I think very much, I love the one of my favorite characters, Bullet Tooth Tony, when he's smashing the guy's head in the car door, climbs over, bonjour. That's so funny. It gets me to laugh out loud every time I see it. Like, and it's humor like that. It's dark humor that's really well done. Like, it's the mobster type humor, where
are you gonna take him with us?
Value life.
And he rolls down the window, and the guy just falls out.
It's awesome. So, like, I like dark humor. I think it's right up my alley there as far as the humor is concerned. That's why I mentioned earlier. So just wanted to elaborate. It's dark, it's kind of twisted, and I love it. I think it's great. It's a very fun movie and a thought experiment. Kind of like, what was it, that Seven Psychopaths movie, during conversations like that. Wish more of that was in Seven Psychopaths. The conversation the two hitmen had at the beginning about a bullet going through the eye or something like that.
See, but I was going to say, I like In Bruges even more, though, than this, because I like that pacing.
Oh, was that the beginning of In Bruges?
No. That you're talking about Seven Psychopaths. I'm saying it's the same director, though, that made that.
Yes, that made In Bruges, yes.
I just, because it's also about two gangsters hiding out, or two hitmen. And
yeah, good stories. I like them all. I just, again, like, to me, if you can make it as exciting and keep the action and momentum going, like, this movie does not let up. Holy crap.
Like I said, you guys are Edgar Wright fanatics. You have him in your top 10 favorite directors, so like, this guy is perfect for you. So
take it easy, Jordan. Why all the hate, dude? You just feel it.
I'm just saying, like, there's
you're
that
you're
pacing.
An old slow man, Jordan. Just admit it. You're slowing down in your age. You're slowing down. Jordan's like, I can't keep up with the action. What?
And I just think that's something that's really impressive as well, is I love, like, there's still some great shots in this. Like, I love the shot of, like, Mickey when he's really mad after his, like, mom gets burned alive in her caravan. And and then also when Mickey gets punched and he's, like, floating, like, super dramatically. Like, that is such an awesome shot. I'm like, dude, this is beautiful. And that's what I love, too. Every time, like, they zoom in and he's like, oh, now we're screwed. Like, when he one punch knockout.
And he was supposed to stay down.
And
he got back up, and Turkish is like, now we're effed.
Yeah, the freeze frames are so funny. I love it. I love freeze frames when you get a character be like, what now? Or he's like, they freeze at the very end. He goes, all you can do is make a stupid face. I love it. And it's, what's funny? Watching Jason Statham play, like, the straight man. Like, I mean, he doesn't do it. And it's funny. It's like almost underneath the surface, he's always pissed off, He kind of plays that character. But you're like, he's now he's like one of the biggest action stars there are working today. So it's just funny to see him as, like, the everyday man that's just trying to get through this whole ordeal about getting another boxer. Just do as you're told. Don't upset the wrong people, and then everything goes wrong.
Well, when you said it was like Pulp Fiction, like, there's that whole ordeal with the throwing, the, like, going down, but then Bruce Willis doesn't, and he actually kills the guy.
Exactly.
And then
it literally has
they're chasing
those
him
elements.
down. Yeah.
Yes, rigged fights, and then the boxer that's discontent. Again, what was the other thing that reminded me so much of Tarantino? I mean, even the conversations talking Big Man, like talking about things that are seeming unrelated to what they're doing.
But you get to
it's just
learn
so
a lot
enjoyable.
about the character.
They're not talking about the heist, but you just get to learn a little bit about them, like on their everyday. It's like I'm not always pulling off bank heist, and I don't need to take this job seriously because we're just sitting in a car waiting for why don't you park the car over there?
And he's like, it's too tight.
Over there. What the fudge are you talking about? You can park an aircraft over there. You can park a 747 jet over there. Or whatever he says. I love it. You can land a fetching aircraft in that space. I love it. They're just constantly bickering. I love it.
I love situations
like
at the end when they're kind of having the standoff in the bathroom hallway. Like that reminds me of Tarantino as well, especially in, like Django, like with with Samuel L. Jackson. Just like the part where he I just love it when he's like, give us the case, and he's like, you know what? F you. And then the Russian comes in. He's like, you give me the case. He's like, you know what? F you too. He's like, I'm sick of you guys. And then he's like, pull up your trousers. And then he just ducks and then it's like starts blowing away people. And even just the humor of killing the Russian guy where he like keeps shooting him with the Desert Eagle and then he just keeps being like,
he's still
I'm gonna get you. And then he's like, gosh dang it. And he like has to he's like squinting and like scoping in on his head so he like will stop talking. And that's what I love too, is so much of it's done off screen as well. I think that's also part of the comedic effect. It's like it just sounds funny when you just keep hearing these gunshots and you don't see what's happening to the guy, but you just keep hearing in the background, it's like, I'm gonna get you, you son of a bee. And he's like, gosh dang, shut up. And he's like shooting him.
It's great, dude. Or even what is for me it was the spin around and the zoom ins that reminds me of Tarantino as well, because when he tells me, he's like, I'm not concerned because I see the word replica written down the side of your barrel or whatever.
And mine says
and
Desert
it zooms
Eagle
in on the gun.
0.50.
Desert Eagle 0.50.
And he's like,
I love it. See, stuff like that, just so funny.
And even just like in the introduction, that's crazy. That it's just like
being raised.
I'm surprised at how funny I thought it was just in the beginning with Turkish. He's like, "What's happening with them sausages, Charlie?" And he's like, 5 minutes, Turkish. And he's like, "It was 2 minutes.
Said that
5
2 minutes
ago." Just like those situations, and he's just like, "What's wrong with this caravan?" And then he like rips off the door, trying to open it, and he's like, I don't know.
Nothing's wrong
the
with it. I
color
just don't like the
doesn't-
color.
Yeah.
It's tip top.
It's tip top. Oh, too. When he's like, you get the camera, he's like, why would I want a caravan with no effing wheels?
And then at the end, he wanted a caravan for his mom and won the bet. That's just so ingenious. So good.
It's so great, dude. Caravan. Freaking pikeys. I hate pikeys.
I love how everyone,
and
at the end when they're about to go kill
hate
him,
crime, just say
I
that.
hate pikeys.
Pikeys.
I effing hate pikeys. Like everyone in different cars have just kept mentioning how much they hate pikeys.
I know better to not do a deal with pikeys, but what choice
I'm here to
did
give
I
my
have?
dog for a walk. What's it to you?
Oh
he's
my
like, all right,
gosh.
Charlie, go get the dog. And he's like, what? He's like, go get the dog.
I was confused. They had the body in their trunk. I thought the other guy that gave bodies to pigs, I thought he took that body. The guy without the hand, Benicio del Toro, or whatever his name is.
Four fingers, Freddy.
Four fingers. No? Okay.
Freddy Four Fingers.
Because I thought he showed up and he was like, he went through that whole monologue on how you feed him to pigs and stuff, which apparently people actually have done in the past. So it's like,
Turn. What are you doing? It's a free country, isn't it? Well, it ain't a free shop, is it? So F off.
I love him.
Dude, he was so great. Dude. It ain't a free shop. Oh, gosh, dude.
free country.
F off. Yeah, plenty of cursing in this movie, and it's funny. Why is it so funny?
And
dude?
there's things like, what's in the car? It's like six, what do you say? Seats and a steering wheel.
He's a natural, ain't you, Tyrone? Of course I am. Smashes the truck. A natural epic idiot. He's like, I was at an angle. You back thing directly into it. He's like, it comes at you from behind. That's what happens when you put in reverse. Oh my gosh, he's like never driven a car before. They're getaway drivers.
I love it too, where he's like,
watching him squirm out of that seat. Dude.
yeah, it's just like,
It's like
30 seconds
the
of just
stretching
uncomfortable
leather
rubber.
sound
yeah,
of
just-
him.
And then I love it too when he's
my
like,
gosh.
when they meet Bullet Tooth Tony, he's like, should I call you Bullet tooth? He's like, you can call me Susan if it makes you happy.
Yes.
You can call me Susie.
Makes you happy.
Oh, I love it. I also love like foreshadowing, just Turkish and Tommy talking about. He's like, "What is that?" He's like, "Hold on, what is that?" He's like, "It's me belt." He's like, "No, I'm talking. There's a gun in your trousers." Like, what are you doing with the gun in your trousers? It's for protection. Protection from what? The Germans. I don't know. I love that they mock it. Yeah, because you wonder with his line of work. I guess he's not worried about pissing off the wrong people. Because again, he's doing everything right that he was asked. Like he's gonna make sure it gets done. And it's characters like that bring a gun. Like it's like a Wachowski, or no, not Wachowski. The Coen brothers, like, and I almost said Wachowski brothers. It's almost
sisters
like a
now,
Coen brothers. Yeah, Wachowski sisters. Oh man, bless their hearts. It's Wachowski's made one good movie, and they have yet to make another.
They're riding that wave till they die.
That's right. It's like the Coen brothers. It's the Big Lebowski. That's why I said Wachowski. I was saying the Coen brothers with the Big Lebowski bringing a gun or bringing someone unhinged like is it Donnie? No, who's the Vietnam John Goodman's character to the drop off? Like you're like, don't do it. Like
It breaks the
Tommy
car.
He should not be.
That should destroy. That's not my car. Why'd you do that car?
Oh, I love it. It's great. But do you guys have any other quotes you wanted to throw out? We've quoted a lot of them so far.
I mean, most
we
of the
recommend
really
it?
good, and most of the quotes are kind of not exactly quotable or
They're
repeatable
I
on
don't
this
remember
podcast.
what the quote was. I do remember saying, like, look in the dog. He's like, dude, you mean open him up? It's like, it's not as if it's a tin of baked beans. What do you mean open him up? I don't know. I thought that was so funny. Dude, any reference to food, any insult where they ask them to do something they don't understand, they just insult each other and they swear at each other. I don't know. It makes me funny.
there is
Yeah,
one,
I love the.
It makes you funny.
Oh, go Justin.
You're good.
The jam
Go
out
ahead.
of my donut.
No, I just thought
Go
the
ahead, Jordan
the
Woodson.
quick cut was really funny when he's when Avi's like on the phone. He's like, "You got a toothbrush? We're going to London. Do you hear that, Doug? I'm coming to London." And then he's like, and he's just like, "Avi." He's like, "Avi." He's like, "Shut up and sit down, you big bald F."
You big bald
He's like,
bunch.
"I don't leave my own country, Doug, especially not to leave it for anything less than warm, sandy beaches and cocktails with little straw hats." And then he's like, "We have beaches?" He's like, "So, who the fudge wants to see them? Hope you appreciate the concern I have for my friend Frankie, Doug. I'm going to find him. You're going to help me find him." Oh, man.
It was funny. I like what you said, Justin, about the character introductions. It was great when he's like, he tries to convince people he's named after a gun, but he was actually named after a 19th century ballet dancer. Like, I like the backstories. Again, not necessary information, but it does say a lot about a character, like whether or
Yeah,
stuff
and
like
then
that.
and
I
then
really
Turkish
like
is
that.
like, yeah, you've never heard the name Turkish. Yeah, my parents named me after a plane crash that like that was a Turkish airline.
It's great.
Wait, so is this Guy Ritchie's favorite? I mean, do you think it's your favorite of his films? Is it this or Gentleman?
For me, this is number 2, behind The Gentleman.
Is Gentleman number 1?
I think, The Gentleman's just like a bigger budget of this.
Yeah, that's a tough one because I think one of my favorite is the Man from U.N.C.L.E. I think that's such a great spy noir. I definitely recommend it. Like it is as close to you as you can get to like Mission Impossible. Like it is so much fun for everyone. I've never met anyone that didn't like it except Jordan. But again, caveat: you do not like Henry Cavill. You do not dislike Guy Ritchie's
I don't
film.
hate him. I just it was one interview and I was just cranky.
Yeah. So give that movie another shot, but you and anyone can watch that movie. So that it's hard to say because that one is so well done. But yeah, I think it is like those 3 movies: Gentleman, this movie, Snatch.
You also got to know
and,
I'm not a big spy guy. It's just spy movies.
Hey, you do need to watch it again.
Spy
I'm with
is so
Ty on
good.
this one. I think my favorite Guy Ritchie film is Man
Yeah.
from U.N.C.L.E. That being said,
sure.
I have watched The Gentleman like 3 times in the last 2 months. So
So funny. It's so good.
Isn't that funny? I know. It's like sometimes I rewatch other films. They're just so easily digestible. So
Yeah,
I do
dude, that's
recommend
me with
those
Sicario.
3,
Holy shit.
Guy
I've
Ritchie.
been just watching that movie like monthly. That fiction is a masterpiece.
I think Guy
Yeah,
Guy
it's a
Ritchie
good
though, I
film.
think the way he does his films, also his are not like whodunit or mystery, which is good because like I think Guy Ritchie's films are super rewatchable. Like Snatch, I could watch a lot. You know, Gentleman,
Oh, yeah.
I've watched it 3 times in the last couple months. Man from U.N.C.L.E. I've seen 20 times. So like very, very, very rewatchable. Just funny humor,
For sure.
action that's fast paced. it's hard not to like.
Yeah, I would say as far as directors go, rewatchability way up there. I mean, these are always a good time, especially people that haven't seen them. They're
It's,
so fun to show people these
yeah.
films.
So-
You're just like sit down and watch this, and they're like, "This is perfect. This is exactly what I
In
want."
order to prepare,
you know?
I just had a little bit of free time before I hopped on the call, and I just YouTubed. I don't even know what I typed in YouTube, but I YouTubed Guy Ritchie Snatch, just to see if there was any videos like that are cool. And so some studio posted it a year ago. So Guy Ritchie watched Snatch a year ago for the first time since he's like made the movie, basically. So it's like he hasn't seen the movie in like 20 years, and he rewatched it a year ago.
Man.
And in the YouTube video, it's basically an interview, and he basically talks about like the casting, the way he filmed certain scenes, yada yada yada. Y'all should go see the YouTube video. But earlier, I'll backtrack just a little bit. Like when we were talking about how like he's just has an act for this. I think it's like really awesome seeing an artist just perfect their craft, because I don't think anyone does this genre better. Because we're talking, one of y'all mentioned that he doesn't do like big budget films, because like his big budget films, he's done Sherlock and he's done like King Arthur.
Well, he does one for the studios, one for him, one for the studios.
Right.
He goes back and forth.
And he did like, so he
way,
did
yeah.
like King Arthur and he did Sherlock. And honestly, like those big budget films that he does, like those, in my opinion, don't compare to like Snatch, Lock, Stock, and Man from U.N.C.L.E. and whatnot. And so it's really interesting because he said he made Lock, Stock he did that film for $8,000. And it was so good because I think it's just like, it's his craft. He likes it. That's what he likes filming. He likes filming like British crime and whatnot, gangster crime. And then he said that Snatch was basically a bunch of similar stories that he just couldn't fit into Lock, Stock.
Okay.
And so he was like,
No way.
He said after he did Lock, Stock, he was like people tried to come to him and have him do big budget films. Hollywood came to him after Lock, Stock, and they wanted him to do some big budget films, and he rejected them and was like, "Nah, I'm gonna do this movie called Snatch. That only took me a couple months to write because most of it is just stories I had for Lock, Stock that I couldn't fit into the film." And it's just really interesting to
That's
see.
so
Like,
sick.
it will be interesting if he steps out of his own realm. It'll be interesting to see if he steps out of his own genre, because he's kind of perfected this genre, in my opinion. There's no one that does this genre better than him. So it'll be interesting to see.
yeah.
Well, I don't know. That might be a debate with Martin Scorsese. He makes some pretty gosh dang amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gangster films.
definitely those two are easily top of there.
Yeah.
And that's super
Those
interesting
are-
that you're...
but it is funny. It extends to two. I mean, I can't think of
But I
another
agree, he did
gangster
perfect
Guy
that.
Ritchie's a
director.
little bit more fine-tuned with like the humor aspect of his films.
I do agree with
Like
that.
Scorsese and Guy Ritchie are doing.
Has some jokes, but definitely not as many.
Yeah,
jokes,
he doesn't go for comedy. They're usually.
They're doing
I
the
don't know,
same
dude.
genre.
The Departed, I laughed so many times.
That's true.
That
That's
one's
true.
and that's all. That's all. Jack
That's a
Nicholson's
modern day
character.
mobster. Yeah.
Firefighters, what about
yeah,
the freaking... Go save a cat from a tree.
But yeah, it was just.
he's like, oh, yeah, exercising every day? Go yourself.
It's so
Well,
fun.
what's the matter with him? He's been shot in the face, Lincoln. I would have thought that was obvious.
No, okay, and that's what's fun
You
too.
can't even remember
like
quotes.
Justin just
I love
mentioned about writing Snatch, and what's super fun too is Guy Ritchie said that he based a lot of the like the mistakes that the three black guys made, the three black gangsters when they were trying to rob the bank. He said like all of their mistakes that they made, he based it off of like TV, like a TV series that he used to watch of like true crime. It was like real crime errors that like people had made before, and so he like put it into a movie, like because gangsters or like real like thugs had made those like errors and gotten caught.
That's funny.
Yeah,
You could say he's the best English gangster director.
yeah.
What if he did a 007 film? How would it go? Because
I would love it. I'd love a studio to get
Well,
give
studio won't. They didn't give Danny
give,
Boyle the chance to make 007, so there's
They
no
didn't get
hope.
Tarantino, Star Trek. Yeah, I know. There's no love. I think it'd be great for them to just make their own, like, make your own spy. Like, he already did it with, I mean, I don't think he needs to make another Man from U.N.C.L.E., but yeah, he basically did it with Man from U.N.C.L.E. that had so much charm. I thought when Henry Cavill, I was like, he's got as much charisma as Daniel Craig did in Casino Royale or Skyfall. So
He did a movie with Daniel Craig. I started it. I haven't finished it.
Snatch or wait, who did?
Guy Ritchie.
Was it Layer
Guy
Cake?
Ritchie?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
It's good.
I'm not the person to ask, though.
It's-
I don't love his
Oh,
movies.
is it too slow, Jordan? Is it the problem? It's too slow.
Yeah,
It's
Jordan.
decent.
So it wasn't fast enough.
Justin,
No,
you've seen it?
Yeah, it's decent. Jordan, if you finish it, you'll have to look up the alternate ending because they filmed
Oh.
2 endings for it. And they only went
Okay.
with one of them. So you have to watch the alternate ending because once I saw the alternate ending, they're both really good, but it's hard to figure out which one you like more. But it's a decent movie. It's worth one watch. I don't think I'd ever watch it again.
Yeah, there's a few of those out there. Well, fellas, we end every movie podcast.
I definitely do recommend.
Oh, would you recommend? Yeah, I recommend this movie. I love Snatch. I think it's so fun. If you want to know what
I think
Guy
you should
Ritchie's
watch
all
Wrath of
about.
Man than this one. Yeah.
I'll watch
No.
it. I haven't
If
seen
you
it.
like,
Yeah.
if you like Gentlemen,
Wrath of Man
this
is good. It's
this
good,
is like a
but-
more
yeah.
tame version of Gentlemen.
Yeah, I saw
Wrath
Wrath
of
of Man. I
Man-
saw it twice in the theater, and then I've seen it like a billion times after that.
Wrath of Man is more like Nobody and what's the other movie that it reminds me of?
No, it's just a revenge flick.
But yeah, the slow. Oh, we just saw it. What was it? Oh gosh, I can't remember. Ambulance, but with Michael Bay. But
like
it's not.
Ambulance.
It's like constantly moving. Yeah. But it is like Ambulance. That's what I thought of when I watched.
I
Wrath of Man.
believe Guy Ritchie has something in production that sounds really, really good. An upcoming project.
Oh, like a new Nicolas Cage Western, right?
It's called
That's
it's
not Guy
gonna
Ritchie.
have Anthony Starr and Jake Gyllenhaal in it. But
Oh yeah,
Cameron's ears
it's
perked
called-
up.
it-
dude. No,
it's called-
Anthony Starr. Ty. Anthony
your
Starr is
pants on, Cameron,
Homelander.
Yeah,
on the
it's
call,
called-
Anthony
please.
Starr is Homelander. Nugget.
yeah, Anthony Starr's
Anthony
Homelander.
Starr and Jake Gyllenhaal, the 2 biggest sociopaths on the planet.
It's called
working side by side.
It's called The Interpreter, and it says it follows Sergeant John, who on his last tour of duty in Afghanistan is teamed with local interpreter Ahmed, who risks his own life to carry an injured John across miles of grueling terrain to safety. So,
Who's directing
Oh,
Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie.
this? Oh, let's
That's why
go.
it came up, Cameron. Cameron doesn't listen to anything you're
Well,
saying.
no,
Justin.
I was-
We're
I was-
listening.
I was getting
kidding.
all the
Cameron.
movies I've watched lately.
Okay, yeah, Cameron, hit it. Go. Let's crank them out. And then
Ca-
tell
Ca-
us your ratings
Cameron-
for each movie. I wanna
Cameron
hear.
was looking
Okay,
at
yeah,
Elliot
I got,
Page's
like-
workout, checking out all the sculpt abs.
I got like 4,000, so I'll just crank through them real quick. Watched Hustle, Adam Sandler's movie about the basketball player. Super good. 8 out of 10.
Recommend it or not?
Yes.
Is it better than
I-
Uncut Gems?
I hate Uncut Gems, so I would say yes, but you guys probably won't think so. I loved it. It's kind of like it's just a really good like basketball movie, and Adam Sandler does a great job, and they get like actual NBA players to play a lot of the scenes. So I mean, the main character is an actual NBA player, and he actually does a really good job acting, and like it's nice to see an actual basketball player playing. It's versus like a lot of especially Hollywood actors when they try to play sports is just like rough to watch. And then I
Hey, I've
watched.
seen Zac Efron nearly dunk, dude.
Yeah, exactly. And then I've watched Atonement. Holy shiz. I almost turned that movie off, but it's might be my top 100 now because I finished it. So depressing, but so good.
Is that James McAvoy
Yeah.
and
Yeah, and Keira
Knightley?
I
Knightley.
love
yeah.
last time Ty you said it was you're like it's a romantic comedy.
Yeah, it was
I don't know
not,
what to
brother.
expect. It looked like one with like Keira Knightley looking over her shoulder like that, longingly back at James McAvoy. It seems like a Poldark meets
No,
Downton Abbey.
it's
Pride
the-
and
Don't
Don't say
Prejudice.
what
That's
it's
I
like,
thought it
Cameron.
was.
Otherwise, you'll spoil it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
otherwise Ty's never gonna
'cause
watch
it's
it.
sad.
Ty's never
Yeah,
gonna watch
Yeah,
it.
it's a
will.
sad movie.
It's
sad movie, right?
it's like The Hunt.
No, why would you
see,
say
now I'm
that?
interested.
Okay, whatever.
Well, is it a
Because that's
knockoff
what
of The
I
Hunt? 'Cause
already
if Hunt
guessed
did
that
it better,
going
then
into
yeah.
it, Jordan. I already guessed that it was like The Hunt going into it, and I was like, and then I was still like, wow, this is insane.
All right, I guess it does tell you at the beginning of the movie. So
Yes.
Is it better than The Hunt or not? What do you think, dude?
No.
That's good.
But
Cameron thinks parts of it are good. But it's not like the same thing. I can't watch another movie like that. Okay.
No, there's
I-
nothing
I
like
showed
it.
Mom both those movies.
It's like
She's-
it's like The Hunt. It's like if The Hunt and Dunkirk had a baby.
Oh, right on. See,
and then-
now I'll watch it. I thought it was Pride and Prejudice. I'm sorry. It's called Atonement. Keira Knightley longing looking.
It does look like. I tell you, that's why I watched
poorly
it.
marketed.
I watched it
yes.
with Mom, thinking it was like Pride and Prejudice because she's obsessed with that movie, and then we were both like, "Oh, that was not Pride and Prejudice. That was The Hunt."
Yeah, that was The Hunt in Dunkirk. And then I watched There Will Be Blood. I don't know how to feel about it. It's so slow.
Fudge.
It's so slow. I give it 8 out of 10. It's definitely amazing film work and everything.
Oh my gosh.
And then there's a great performance by Daniel Day-Lewis and Paul Dano.
I've abandoned my child.
Ty gushed about it for an hour, and we lost his audio.
Yes,
it's definitely.
And that's why I make up for it every episode.
It's definitely not like one of my faves, and I probably will never ever watch it again. But I mean, the part when he beats him to death with a bowling pin is pretty wild. I was like, holy shiz, what am I watching?
I finished.
And then I watched Searching with Kelsey. 9 out of 10. Holy shiz, that movie just kept turning and turning, and I was like, oh my gosh.
It's good. I was even underwhelmed. I watched it on an airplane. I thought I was sucking on oxygen and being so close to death.
You don't know what you're talking about.
I would enjoy it more. It was good.
And then I watched Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. Yeah, it was a Pirates movie. It was 7 out of 10. Bullet Train. I thought it was really fun. 7 out of 10. And then
Bullet Train.
I watched
Brad Pitt. Hey, does it rank in Brad Pitt performances anywhere?
He does a great job at it, and he's really funny. But it's definitely not one of his best performances. It's just like I mean, he's not given a whole lot to work with, but like it's just kind of like a fun action movie. It's got almost Guy Ritchie, Edgar Wright like vibes, just not done as well. But it's still fun.
So I'm glad I didn't watch that, and I saw Bodies instead.
Like that was a better movie.
Waste.
And Nope.
So
and then I watched Nope. Super underwhelmed. The more I talk about it, the more I appreciate it.
Enjoyed it.
But still, as a movie, I didn't like it. I gave it a 5 out of 10. Dude. And then I watched Pitch Perfect for the first time. That movie was actually really funny. Give it a 7 out of 10. I also watched Mean Girls for the first time.
Haven't bothered to see any of the sequels. Oh, Mean Girls. Yes.
That one's actually really good. I was expecting to be super cheesy and stupid, and I was like a pity watch for Kelsey, and then I was like, holy
Did you
crap,
even recognize Rachel McAdams as a blonde teenager?
She is ruthless. She is actually the devil. She does a great job.
Giving her the
I just saw
protein, or what was it, gain weight bars?
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. I love because I watched the interview with her, and they talked about when she went to the viewing of it for the first time. Everyone stood up and cheered when she got hit by the bus, and she was like, I didn't know how to feel because I was happy that everyone was enjoying the film, but they were happy that I got hit by a bus.
Largely largely just enjoyed it because I'm dead.
But yeah, so that one was really fun. And then I also watched Arctic, which was a recommendation, I believe, from
Matt
Drew.
Nicholson?
Yeah. Man.
I love that movie.
Depressing.
He's great.
But really good.
Dude, hopeful at the end, right? Last second of the film, you're just waiting.
Yeah, it's kind of like Prisoners.
Don't spoil it. I haven't seen it yet.
And then I watched a Injustice movie. It's just like animated from the video game. I'm a nerd. 8 out of 10. I also watched Rise, which is the movie about Giannis, my favorite basketball player, and his story. He's because his family was refugees from Nigeria to Greece, and then he's made it to where he used to be a street vendor selling money to like survive, and now he's like one of the wealthiest basketball players in the world. So it's a super cool story. Rewatched The Northman with Drew. I liked it even more than the first time. First time I gave it 8 out of 10. This time I gave it a 9 out of 10. It's pretty dang good. And then I watched
Good film.
Now You See Me Too. 6 out of 10. Amazing scenes, and then everything, all the glue.
Daniel Radcliffe not doing it for you?
All the glue around it was just not doing it. I was like, what the fudge? You get back to the magic scenes where I'm like amazed. But yeah, it was a 6 out of 10. And then rewatched Galaxy Quest.
I have a quick question about
7 out
that
of
though.
10.
Like, Now You See Me, magic like done in film, like it's not impressive. It's called editing.
Oh
like,
yeah, absolutely. But
right? Yeah. Make it entertaining.
What I compare it to is just literally The Prestige without good writing.
Yeah.
So that's everything that I've seen. Just the one I'm looking forward to. I really want to watch RRR. It looks so bonkers and funny. And then also someone recommended Argo to me, so I'm gonna check that out with Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. Nice. Justin, what have you seen lately? What are you looking forward to seeing?
Let's see here. A lot of very recently, it's been a lot of rewatches for me, but that's not necessarily bad. I watched Knives Out again, 8 out of 10.
So good.
I suppose it holds up knowing the
Oh,
twist, even though
inside
you know.
of
Oh,
that.
yeah,
even
So many
knowing the
times.
twist, it's a good rewatch. I don't know how many times I could rewatch it, but for one rewatch, it was
Yeah,
good.
I watched it for a second time and I liked it better than the first
Same.
time. So
Same.
Well, it's really fun
there's a
watching with people
hoe
that
inside
haven't seen it
another
too.
hoe.
Right. And this I haven't been on the podcast in a minute, so some of these will be like ones I saw a month ago, but like obviously
It's
I went and
okay.
saw Top Gun Maverick, 8 out of 10. I'm a big
Masterpiece.
the first
Yeah,
one is
so
like
good.
a huge
That's America in one movie.
Yeah, it is. The first one's like a huge family staple of mine, so had to go see it.
I'm sorry, dude. I think this remake, soft reboot, whatever you want to call it, sequel is better than the original, man. I'm sorry.
I don't know if I'm ready to have that conversation.
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, I know you don't get this movie without the
Right.
first one, but I'm sorry. Like, the first one, I think, is so thin on story. I'm like, I mean, not like this one's super deep, but it certainly has more of a It's the most
Yeah,
movie.
it's good. It
Ty,
is.
but
It
money.
is. Rewatch The Gentleman.
The Tom Cruise abs.
Obviously, 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Cameron
Shirtless
told me to watch
volleyball.
Nice Guys like 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Dude,
I
Nice
gave it a 7 out
Guys.
of 10, although I don't think I'll ever watch it again. It's
Yeah, there's so much
it's
nudity.
a hard watch.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. They just need to
I
choose
watched
it.
it
They just
edited,
need, they just,
and I have no idea what you're talking about. It's a great movie.
they
Ryan
just
Gosling
they
and
just
Russell
need
Crowe,
to they just need to
amazing
change
pair
the
up.
plot of it to make it not about like what it's about, and then it would be amazing because just the all
You
the
just need to take
performances
this movie,
in it are
remove
so
its
good.
plot.
No,
It'd
just
be a
like
much
change
better
the plot,
film.
make it about something besides.
I know.
The
Yeah,
film.
and
Well, like,
investing.
I don't.
Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
Well, they should make a
Well, I
fetching
don't
sequel
get
to
why
it,
like
honestly.
the daughter that they're going after. I don't get why like her way to stand up against the government had to be to shoot a. Like I don't get why that had to be the way to get people's attention.
Yeah.
Justin, when are you going to learn that I have no good ideas? Okay?
He said it.
In
not
general.
me.
In general, they don't have any good ideas.
Canceled
So,
on.
are you really surprised?
But yeah, 7 out of 10. Won't rewatch it, but
But dude, Ryan Gosling hilarious in that.
yeah,
No?
he's really good, and I think that movie has an acquired taste. And to the people that really like it, it's probably up there for them. So I understand. I watched Instant Family. It's an adoption movie with Mark Wahlberg. 7 out of 10. Good watch.
Vince Vaughn.
Marky Mark.
Mark, good. Me and my wife watched.
Oh no, I'm thinking
No,
of the
yeah, that's not
boxing
Vince
one.
Vaughn.
Sorry.
It's a movie just about them like adopting kids. I watched one episode of the FLDS documentary with my wife.
Oh my gosh, I watched that on Netflix.
Yeah,
Is that
we
crazy?
watched one episode. I couldn't stomach it. I couldn't.
Oh, it gets worse.
And I'm-
Just finish
Is
the
that the
documentary.
one with the Red Rock? Is that the Red
No,
Rock one or
it's-
not? Like they live in St. Joe.
Yeah,
or
I mean
whatever.
it's about
And the
it's
arches.
about
Fundamentalist
Warren
Mormon
Jeffs.
family, right?
Warren.
Jeffs and
Do you know what happens at
no,
the end?
but there's a reason why we watched one episode and we quit. It was hard to stomach. So
Yeah, Ty, he built a temple, and it's a lot like ours because they use the Book of Mormon. And at the very end, behind the veil, is a bed, and it was just like the end of Midsummer.
Yeah, this guy's a
Wow.
psychopath.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So
How about
Catch
that?
him in hell.
I gave that documentary a try. Like I like documentaries. My wife had some coworkers who were like, "This is just a crazy documentary. You should check it out." And I knew a little. Like I had some run-ins on my mission with some people that thought we believed in Warren Jeffs and whatnot. So I was like, I guess I'll give it a try. And then after one episode, I was like, I feel like throwing up. I feel like crying. I feel like just
Yeah.
like
Showering.
yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, it sounds no different than Wild Wild Country. Have you seen that documentary? Bhagwan, this crazy guru guy that had a whole town. He had an entire civilization popped up in like, it was some small town, Oklahoma, or I can't remember where it takes place, Colorado or something. But they had this whole civilization, and it was all just a cult for himself, basically. But
Yeah.
But we have that amazing meme where he's like, people, they've tried to solve the environment, but people are. It's amazing.
Oh,
Hilarious.
that's him.
That's Bhagwan. See, that's the thing. That's the guy with the cult, and people quote him because it's hilarious to hear him say
yeah.
something
I've seen
that's
that meme a
obscene, but you're
million
like,
times.
That's the thing that's doing this guy in, and not the cult. Like, that's the world we
Oh,
live in,
wow.
folks. So if you lose faith in humanity, just remember that we hold people accountable for
Wow.
what they say, and not what they do anymore. It's crazy.
But
Insane.
Yeah, so
Absolutely insane.
it might be a minute till I watch another documentary.
Yeah. No. What I'm saying is, see, I watch Wild Wild Country, so I now know I
Yeah,
don't need to watch this
You
because they're
don't.
both the same thing. Fundamentalist, psycho, extremist religionists that convince people to do these
Yeah.
insane things. People are drinking the Kool-Aid, man. I mean, it's a
scary.
real thing. Cults are freaky.
It's crazy. And then
Freaky deaky.
I watched Green Book, which was
Charles
on my
Manson.
list for a long time. I give it a 6.5.
So
6.5. Just because
What?
love the story.
it was-
Ty hasn't even seen it. Jordan's just being a
I
bum.
have
Here,
too much
no,
white
no,
guilt
hey.
to watch it. Sorry.
Love the story.
You-
I love the message, but it's too basic of a Hollywood film. Like
It's
like,
too fake, too, by the
like,
way.
Like
None of the
like,
story happened. Just saying, none of the story
like you got
happened.
a guy who doesn't like another
that's
guy.
actually not true, but-
There's racial tension, and then like they go on a road trip, and next thing you know, like they like each other, and then he invite. I liked the movie. It was good. I liked everything about it, but it's just like kind of basic.
I'm a sucker for that.
So
That's like Remember the Titans, bro. I'm a sucker for when
Hey,
the,
but-
like when the people like put aside their differences and they're just like, we can be friends.
but a 6.5 out of 10 is still a good movie.
Hey, no, but remember, the Titans is well done. Yeah.
So
Way
and then
better.
I finally watched Social Network for the first time.
Holy fudge. What'd you
7
think?
out of 10.
Oh, dude, you don't understand it. Go back and watch it. I'm sorry. It's like the top 10 films of all time. It's amazing, dude. Gotta watch it again.
Justin, your opinion is
Okay.
totally valid. You do you.
It's best
it is
director
valid.
with best writer is all, and it's perfect combination.
I think
Dark
Did you,
story.
Did you know
dude.
that?
It's weird because you're thinking
You know
Facebook
that David
is for
Fincher
grandmas,
was the second director to be asked to direct it. They were originally going to get someone else, and then he
I wouldn't be
ended up
surprised.
taking it.
And I would not be surprised if the movie was supposed to have a lighter tone. Like, I don't know. But to me, corporate espionage, betrayal, I think it's like the Cain and Abel story,
Yeah.
basically. I think it's as well
I mean,
done as that.
yeah,
but
I'll
anyway.
rewatch it again, and I'll let you know if it gets higher than a 7 out of 10. But I also watched season 2 of Space Force on Netflix. It's
Oh, Space
it's-
Force. I didn't watch season 2. I watched season 1. I
It's
kind
an
of dropped
acquired-
off. What do you think? Is it
It's
season
an
2 better?
acquired taste.
Watch all season 1,
I'll
though.
watch
Is season 2
anything
better?
that has Steve Carell. It's
Is it any better than season 1? I gotta know. Yeah.
It's like a dead tie. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the same
Season 1,
as.
season 2 are like a dead tie.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I know I have friends who thought it was not funny at all, and the humor sucked. I think it was a good watch when I didn't have anything else to watch. So
How about that
So,
for a recommendation, huh?
Time filler.
and then
Okay.
Well, we could chew Broken Glass, or we could watch Steve Carell.
I may or may
Space Force. Let's watch
I
Space
may or may
Force.
not be forcing my wife to watch the greatest drama TV show of all time right now, Friday Night Lights.
Oh, no way.
That's a 10 out of 10 for me. It's going to be... we're watching it right now. This will be my third time rewatching it. Greatest TV.
Dang, dude. Maybe I gotta check it out. It's funny because my wife, she keeps telling me I need to watch
So,
it, and she's just like, if you love football,
It'll hit close to
you
home,
have to watch
Cam, because it's small town Texas through and through. It's got a lot of like Christianity stuff and gossip, and it's just like, and it's all high school football, 100% down all the way. So it's
Okay.
And I am a very, very, very big fan of oh my gosh, I just freaking blanked.
I'm thinking of Any Given Sunday, Al Pacino. But Friday Night Lights is not.
Anyways,
Any
I'll
Given
get back to
Sunday.
you.
Why?
But as far as
yeah,
stuff
Friday
I'm
Night
looking
Lights is-
forward to, the last 8 episodes of the Walking Dead series is in like a month, so getting ready to.
That's still going on.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. Wow.
Yeah. So the series is about
crazy.
to end, so they have 8 more episodes for the final part.
That's weird. I remember AMC saying that Walking Dead could go on forever, I think is what they said.
Well, the comic book should have.
Yeah, it depends on who you
Ended
ask.
it.
Are you asking the writer of the comics, or are you asking the show frontrunners? So, but that's pretty much all I'm looking forward to.
Have you watched Invincible? Same writer, Robert Kirkman from The Walking Dead, wrote Invincible. It's on Amazon
No, but
Prime.
I saw he was writing other stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you definitely need to
Amazon-
check out Invincible. It's like, I don't know if
Invincible's
you've
a
ever
good
watched
show.
any of The Boys. It's like more dialed down, no nudity, The Boys.
Yeah,
So
I
really
watched.
it's refreshing.
I watched season 1 of The Boys, and then just never got around to the rest of the show.
2 and 3.
Yeah, definitely.
Honestly,
if
you
you
can
like
watch
that,
one
watch
season of The
Simpsons.
Boys and you kind of get the whole gist. The first season is by far the best of The Boys, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah,
It
but
had all the things that you
Check
love,
out
and then
Invincible
they
though.
just can't keep
Invincible
redoing it.
has the best voice actors, and it's so fun.
My
have to
wife
get through the
dropped off
first
watching
episode.
The Boys. She likes Invincible.
Is
so I
Invincible
would- yeah.
animated or is it?
Yeah,
It is. It kind of looks like an old school
Justice
X-Men.
League.
Justice League or
Justice
something.
League, yeah.
And
Like
you
the
have to get
old
through the first
X-Men.
episode all the
Yeah.
way through, because at the first time I was watching it, I was like, oh, this is like a cheesy thing. Because I mean, I'm watching Young Justice right now because I'm also 7 years old, and so like I love that stuff. And I was like, oh, Jordan just recommended one of these shows because he knows I like these shows. And then I was like, this is not the show that I was expecting.
Is he continuing
Yeah,
the story or is it done?
No, season
Yeah,
2
it's
should
going to
come
continue.
out soon.
Yeah, season 2 is going to get announced soon.
It was
here.
supposed to be
Yeah,
this
it's-
summer,
for
but
another season.
Yeah, so because
Yeah.
the very end of the first episode, then they have an after credits, and then the show like shows you what the actual tone will be for the entire
Okay.
show. Because
Yeah.
it starts out pretty slow, but then after
dude, yeah,
that,
I might
it
have
just-
to rewatch Invincible this week. Like,
I want
fudge.
to too before the next season.
I'll put it on the watch list.
Definitely check it out. It's worth the watch, worth the experience. So.
What about you, Ty?
I'm very much looking forward to watching She-Hulk. Looks like a cinematic masterpiece.
I hate you. I
know,
hate that
we're
you
in good
force yourself
hands.
to watch
We're
these
in the
things
final
just to
stage
rant
of
about
the
them.
MCU.
Pisses me
It
off.
is amazing. Women empowerment, guys. It's insane. Like She-Hulk is talking to Bruce about like how women just live in fear every day that they're going to be killed. I don't even know what she's talking about. It's like listening to an irrational person like talk about things. I don't know. It's weird because the writers of the show came out and said that they were inept to write like a suspenseful law thriller, and I thought that was funny.
They should have just watched Daredevil.
Like 6 seasons of Better Call Saul, and I'm like, that's a compelling story, and it's more about characters. It doesn't have too much to do with the law, but it plays an undertone of the whole show. You know, it's mostly
Same thing with
character-driven, but-
Daredevil talks about like the law.
or at least I shouldn't say law, because it has everything to do with the law. It just has nothing to do with like courtroom drama. It's like drama outside the courtroom. All the drama takes place outside the courtroom. Very little drama happens in a courtroom, except the fetching end. I can't get over. I finished Better Call Saul and I watched the ending 3 times now. Final episode. I think it's probably going to go down as one of my favorite TV shows of all time. That and Breaking Bad. Like, I kind of almost view them as the same. Breaking Bad is like more binge worthy, and yet Better Call Saul is more compelling and more interesting in a lot of ways, because now, like I said, without spoiling anything, the show gives the opportunity for you to recontextualize all of Breaking Bad and its characters. That's all I'm going to say. Holy crap. Do you have a
I
question,
do.
Justin? Raise your hand. Yeah, what's up, dude?
Do you
Just
ever
interrupt,
have
dude.
recommendations that are given to you and you know it's good and you know you'll like it, but you just know you'll never get around to it?
Yes. I am the famously
time.
I'm never gonna watch what's it called? The Dragons. Where are my dragons?
Train Your
What's it
Dragon.
called?
no, Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
Game of Thrones.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a show I've never watched. Everyone recommends it, and I know I'd like it. Just the longer it goes. without watching
That's
it, I'll never
valid.
end up sitting there.
I don't. So basically, I've never seen Breaking Bad, and I know that Better Call Saul is like the most popular TV show right now. I am not going to watch either of them. I'm not going to. I'm not going to get around to it. I don't really care.
Yep. Oh, well, it's a big commitment now. It's like 11
I'm just
seasons
gonna
long.
I'm just gonna
You're
believe
like-
everyone's word. Like Breaking Bad's the greatest show, and Better Call Saul is right there with it, and I'll just believe the words. I don't really care to.
Don't worry, Justin. I'm kind of right there with you. I'm just like, I'm too far behind to catch up.
So
Oh, are you not watching Solid, Cameron?
No,
I know Grant's
I've never
watching it.
seen.
You
I've
don't
never
watch
even
it.
seen Breaking
Yeah.
Bad, but that was something because.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
funny. It's funny that you guys say that, because I would even just simply say, if a premise of like a straight-laced high school chemistry teacher Breaking Bad to crystal meth doesn't sound at all interesting, then don't go down that road, because I mean that's what it is.
I've just
And
seen.
some
I've
people are
seen
they
so
don't
many
like the
clips, and I've
premise.
seen like the season
I thought that was very
finales.
interesting.
I've seen the season finale
But without
3 times. of
context,
Breaking
Cameron,
Bad.
it's like showing that scene from
Yes,
the lighthouse
yes.
with smashing the bird. There's no
Yeah, there's no way to like
But
the
that's
fact that
such a
Robert
funny
Pattinson is
scene.
literally descending into madness. Actually, Justin, I'm really glad you brought this up. So there was one other thing I wanted to
Yeah, but
just
Ty,
mention real
both me and
quick.
you have both watched Breaking Bad at least twice all the way through. I mean,
Yes.
I'd rather watch
3 times for me, and I've started at a 4th.
I know.
Wow.
And I'm just,
Wow.
I'm saying, I just talked to my neighbor. He's
Yeah.
seen it 3 times all the way through too. He's
Yes.
like, I mean, it's a
Dang.
perfect show.
Everyone
honestly.
has their show that they'll watch time and time again.
It's true.
Regardless
Yes.
of how many, regardless
The Office.
and regardless
Trailer
of how
Park
many
Boys.
The
seasons
Office,
it is,
something like
regardless
that,
of how many seasons.
Just turn on a cool
But don't
episode.
worry,
of,
don't worry about the Game of Thrones thing. I watched the pilot episode, and there was
I
in
did
it,
too.
and I was like, yeah, this ain't for me.
No, that was me too. And then like years later, then I finally watched it.
But then I learned to kill that part of myself that cared.
No,
and then I watched
VidAngel had it, and then I watched it all on VidAngel.
Yeah, me
Dude,
and
I
Jordan
love TV people about that. I'm
cranked
like-
through that. My senior year of high school,
Yeah.
as soon as it was on VidAngel, we watched like 4 seasons in like 5 days. It was
Also,
crazy.
Everyone talks about how it's the worst series ending ever.
Ending
So like,
of all time, yeah.
I've
so
also
why am
heard
I
that
ever?
too, so
Why
it
am I
took
gonna
me, like,
watch it?
dodge the bullet.
Why
Yes.
am I gonna watch it?
Yes,
Yeah.
I feel the same way. I feel the
Because-
same way. That's not only the only reason, but I do remember hearing that. And I'm like, well, then what am I worried about? Like, I don't need to
Same.
feel that. I will never
Well,
get
it's
that
like
sting.
a masterpiece up until the end.
yes.
It's the
Yeah,
same
you
with
just
The
don't watch
Office.
the last
The Office
season.
is-
Hey, The Office is a good
The
ending.
Office has a good ending,
Good
but
finale.
not last season. The last season's not great.
Hey, it's fine.
Once
You grow to love
Michael
the characters enough.
once Michael left The Office, it was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah. Yeah, he's the whole reason you watch the show. Michael Scott is the glue that's holding
Which is why the
everything
last
together.
episode was so good. He came
One thing
back.
I wanted to throw out here. So this is interesting. You guys might not know this. Did you know in Stranger Things, one of the characters, I think it's Will's birthday.
That's what she said. That's
Michael,
Michael's
you
first
kidding?
words back on.
Oh my gosh! Of course it is, dude. It's so great. So real quick, so Stranger Things, one of the characters' character's birthday. I think you learned in the first season. I think it's Will's birthday. It's like on the day they go to the roller rink, and there's no mention of the character's birthday. So someone caught this online, and get this. So Netflix, rather than like re-edit it or add a scene, they went retroactively back to the first season and changed it. Rather than just like fessing up to their mistake and being like, oh, like sometimes it's hard when you're making a show and you make mistakes, like continuity is difficult when you're making a TV show. They're retroactively going back and changing essentially history. Okay, now get this. This is bonkers to me. So I love a TV show called It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And Rob McElhenney, Charlie Day, and Glenn Howerton are some of the 3 funniest TV show writers. I love them so much. They've actually gotten rid of some of their episodes in the past, and they're no longer available on streaming. What I'm getting at here, and you're going to hear it first on this podcast, physically buy everything that could be possibly viewed as controversial or just something that's important to you. I don't mean like just buy controversial crap. What I'm saying is like if you
Disney's
like
censoring
show
out a lot of
that's
crap
even
out of their
border-
films too.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's crazy because we are living in a time right now, and this just. I know this is unrelated to the movie podcast, but I thought this was really important. We're living in a time where rapidly more and more things are being erased. It's freaky.
As
That's all
long
I'm
as the
gonna say.
ringer is out,
Like-
there's still hope for humanity.
You referring to Johnny Knoxville's movie? Is that the one? Or no, but seriously, like we live in a time. Yeah, like they're just simply editing things from movies that they find problematic now, and I'm like, so we're not watching the same movies that we watched when we first watched them when we were kids, or even 10, 5, 3 years ago. Like, I'm just saying, it's a crazy world we live in. Folks, be safe, go with God, and Godspeed, and just make sure, if you're listening to this, and you like something that's really important to you, buy the physical copy of it. They can't come to you and edit it once you've purchased it. And it's probably too late for some of your favorite stuff. But anyway, gotta see John Wick. Lots of love. Anyway, this has been Futro Hidden Movie Gems. Leave us an email, futromovies@gmail.com. Check us out on Spotify, Instagram, YouTube. Our whole catalogs is there. Download us and leave us an email or comment, and we'll get back to you as soon as we read it, because we love hearing
Thanks
from
for all of you
folks.
that are leaving reviews. We currently have a 5-star review rating.
And all you upset people
Oh,
that
really?
keep commenting and say,
On
No
YouTube. Where's the
movie
movie from?
here.
No movie here. Where's the movie? Sorry, we are not an illegal pirate service. You know, this is we're not LimeWire, folks. Okay, we're not Putlocker. Just throwing out some other website. I don't know if they're still up now. Hey guys, this has been Future Hit Movie Jump signing out. Peace.
uh,
You like dags? Digs.